Hi there, Kath Gammack, rig market analyst with Westwood Global Energy. Here with a quick recap on some of the offshore rig market news during the period 6th up to and including the 12th of December. The past week saw 3 new contracts for work off Australia, Namibia and Brazil, plus an extension off Indonesia, with plenty of other activities. Transocean ultra-deepwater drillship Deepwater Skyros has been awarded a 6-well contract with an estimated duration of 320 days for work off Australia with an undisclosed operator. Operations are expected to begin in the first quarter of 2027. The contract is expected to contribute approximately $130 million in backlog, excluding MOB and DMOB. The award includes priced options, which, if fully exercised, could keep the rig working off Australia into early 2030. While the operator was not named, market sources indicate this is the award from Chevron's tender for the Gorgon Stage 3 project, which RigLogix reported on the 5th of December had reached a final investment decision. Deepwater Skyros is currently off Côte d'Ivoire, where it is a charter with Murphy Oil from mid-December for 3 wells plus 1 well option. Eni exercised the option for the drilling and completion of the third of 4 optional wells in Indonesia using ultra-deepwater semi-sub SSV Katerina. This extension is expected to keep the rig utilised through the second quarter of 2026, and it further increases the firm backlog of Ventura by around $20 million. Should Eni exercise the remaining option, then the rig could be busy into the third quarter of 2026. Northern Ocean Limited has signed a new contract with a subsidiary of Shell plc for ultra-deepwater harsh environment semi-sub Deep-Sea Mira, commencing operations off Namibia in April of 2026. The contract covers 1 firm well and includes 1 optional well, with an estimated duration of 45 days for the firm well and a projected firm backlog of around $16 million. This contract will increase Northern Ocean's firm backlog to around $387 million. The rig is currently operating for Rhino Resources offshore Namibia under a contract that has options, which, if exercised, could keep the unit busy into the second quarter of 2026. Valaris won the tender for Shell Brazil's Gato de Mato project, which has been renamed Orca. Ultra-deepwater drillship Valaris DS-8 will commence operations in the first quarter of 2027 under a long-term charter. Total contract value is approximately $300 million. While the rig will primarily be used for Orca, she will also undertake subsea intervention and decommissioning operations. The contract also has options for exploration drilling. Further to our report of the 3rd of November, Seatrium Offshore Technology, through Seatrium Group, has confirmed securing a repeat contract from International Maritime Industries to supply equipment and a license for a 4th Liturnio Super 116E class jackup, known as Kingdom 4. The award follows the Kingdom 3 contract earlier this year and strengthens the partnership between the 2 companies as IMI advances offshore drilling capabilities in line with Saudi Arabia's Vision 2030 goals. This order marks the 45th unit for the Super 116 series, reaffirming its position as one of the world's most widely used jackup designs. Seatrium has contributed to over half of all jackups built globally, including 65% of those operating in the Middle East. Other activities over the past week saw Noble Corporation sign definitive agreements to sell 6 jackups, which includes the sale of 5 rigs to Borr Drilling for $360 million and a separate transaction for the sale of 1 rig to Ocean Oilfield Drilling for $64 million in cash. Upon closing of the transactions, which are subject to satisfaction of customary closing conditions, Noble will be a pure-play deepwater and ultra-harsh environment jackup operator. The agreement with Borr, comprising $210 million in cash and $150 million in seller notes, includes the sale of Noble Tom Prosser, Noble Mick O'Brien, Noble Regina Allen, Noble Resilient, and Noble Resolute. Closing is expected in early 2026, subject to Borr's successful financing. The proposed seller notes are expected to have a 6-year maturity and be secured by a first lien on 3 jackups, Noble Tom Prosser, Noble Regina Allen, and Noble Resilient. The notes can be prepaid at any time without penalty, with certain provisions mandating early prepayment. Noble intends to operate Noble Mick O'Brien and Noble Resolute under a bareboat charter agreement with Borr for 1 year from signing of the definitive agreement. Meanwhile, the agreement with Ocean Oilfield anticipates the sale of Noble Resolve. Closing is expected in the second quarter of 2026, upon conclusion of the rig's current contract. The rig is currently conducting a P&A campaign for Enegas off Spain. Eni is planning to drill a new deepwater exploration well in Area C offshore Libya in early 2026. The well is understood to be Matsula-1, located at a water depth of 5,971 feet. The operator is already currently drilling off Libya using Saipem ultra-deepwater semi-sub Scarabeo 9. Total Energies has signed a deal with Galp to acquire a 40% operated interest in the PEL 8-3 license in the Namibian Orange Basin, holding the Mopane discovery, while Galp will acquire a 10% participating interest in PEL 5-6 license, holding the Venus discovery, as well as a 9.39% participating interest in PEL 9-1. The transaction positions Total Energies as the operator of 2 of the largest oil discoveries off Namibia and opens the way for the development of a major producing hub, generating long-term value for the country and partners. Total Energies will carry 50% of Galp's capital expenditures for the exploration and appraisal of the Mopane discovery and the first development on PEL 8-3. The carry will be repaid through 50% of Galp's future cash flows from the project. TotalEnergies and Galp have agreed to launch an exploration and appraisal campaign, including 3 wells over the next 2 years, with the first well planned in 2026 to further de-risk resources and progress diligently toward the development of the Mopane discovery. Concurrently, TotalEnergies, operator of PEL-56, says that it remains fully committed to the development of the Venus discovery and is working to secure all conditions enabling a potential final investment decision in 2026. Completion of the transaction is subject to customary third-party approvals from the Namibian authorities and joint venture parties, with completion expected to occur in 2026. Further to our report of the 11th of November, Santos has recently submitted an environmental plan to the Australian offshore regulator, NOPSEMA. The environmental plan is now open for comments from members of the public. Santos is planning a major multi-year exploration and appraisal campaign in the Bedout Basin offshore Western Australia, covering up to 7 wells across 4 operational areas, to be drilled between the third quarter of 2026 and the third quarter of 2031. The programme includes 2 exploration wells in 2026/2027, a new 3D seismic survey, an extensive geophysical, hydrographic and geotechnical work. Key prospects include Curie, Ara, Wallace and Mestrel/Bancroft in permits WA-541-P, WA-435-P and WA-436-P in water depths of between 262 and 869 feet. Wells will typically reach between 9,842 and 19,685 feet and will take approximately 40 to 110 days to complete. Up to 2 drilling campaigns are envisaged using a moored semi-submersible, while a third with a jack-up for the shallow Mestrel/Bancroft area might be possible. Successful exploration wells would be followed by appraisal drilling within 6 to 18 months, with up to 4 appraisal wells anticipated. All wells will be permanently plugged and abandoned after evaluation. And finally, a final investment decision has been made for Phase 1 of the Navitas Petroleum operated Sea Lion field development. All approvals and consents necessary at this stage have been received. The Falkland Islands Government has approved the field development and production programme for Phases 1 and 2 of the Northern Development Area within the Sea Lion field. The total post-FID funding requirement is $1.8 billion to first oil and $2.1 billion to project completion, inclusive of contingencies and financing costs. First oil from Phase 1 is currently projected for 2028 and is targeting 170 million barrels at a peak production of around 50,000 barrels per day. Navitas has already entered into key commercial contracts, such as an FPSO charter, as well as a drilling rig contract. That's it for this week. Many thanks for listening. Hope you find this of interest. If you'd like more information on rig logics, please visit our website www.westwoodenergy.com.